Imagine you're in chemistry class. You get asked to calculate the certain percentage of a chemical needed for a reaction, but you don't know how to do that. Today we'll find out. This is the basic setup, using a method I like to call the big bowl, little bowl method. If you only know the amount of one of the smaller bowls, you will use the top formula. But if you know the total amount, you will use the bottom formula. Now that we have the info needed, let's apply it to a few problems.
Our first problem is, how many liters of an 8% hydrochloric acid solution and a 10% hydrochloric acid solution should you mix to produce 3 liters of a 9% hydrochloric acid solution? Once I get to the equation part, I would like you to write it out and work it with me. But this part, you don't have to. I'm going to take a colored marker and underline our question. That way we can make sure we answer it in the end. Our question is, how many liters of an 8% hydrochloric solution and a 10% hydrochloric solution should we mix to produce 3 liters of a 9%? Now we're going to underline our rates. These, in this example, is percentages, but it can be anything like percentages, weights, prices, and stuff like that. In this example, though, it's percentages. We have 9%, 10%, and 8%. We also have an amount in this problem, and that amount is 3 liters. That is what we're ultimately going to end up with when we mix everything together. I would like you now to pull out your piece of paper and draw a small bowl plus another small bowl. Oh, that's big. That's a weird bowl. Another small bowl, and have it equal one big bowl. That's less of a bowl and more of a ball, but you get the idea. Okay, and now we're going to take our information from the problem and fill this out. We know our final amount is 3 liters, and it is going to be a 9% concentration. So we're going to put our rates down here and our amounts inside the bowl. What is in the bowl is the amount. And then we're going to, because we don't know anything about these, we're going to put this one as an X, and it's going to be the 8% solution. And then our final one is the 10%, and we're going to do 3 minus X, because this minus this is going to equal this, because this plus this equals this. Now we're going to convert it to a problem that is workable. We're going to put 0.08 or 0.08. You don't have to put the 0, I just like to. And then you're going to put times X, because these two are, all of these are going to multiply by each other. So, and then we're going to put plus, and then 0.10 times 3 minus X is equal to 0.09 times 3. Now we're going to convert these to not whole numbers, but not decimals. We're going to get rid of the decimal places because it's just easier to work it that way, and we can do it to all 3 of them. So we're going to jump over with the decimal place, and we're going to have 8 times X plus, jump over, 10 times 3 minus X, jump over, equals 9 times 3. Now we have 8. We're going to multiply these two. 8x plus 30. This looks like something you should have seen before. It's something easy. Plus 30 minus 10x equals 27. 8 minus 10 is negative 2. X plus 30 is equal to 27. Now we're going to subtract 30 from both sides. I have negative 2x is equal to negative 3. Now we divide it by negative 2, both sides, so that we can eliminate this 2 and just be left with x. And x is equal to 1.5. And so we've just filled this in. So we know 8% of... Wait, no. I'm writing this wrong. Hang on. We need 1.5 liters of 8%, and because we got to answer both, we need the liters for the 8% and the 10%. And 3 minus 1.5 is 1.5. We also need 1.5 liters of 10%. And that is our final answer for that one. This is our second problem. It's a little different than the other one. I'll explain why in a moment. How many liters of a 10% alcohol solution should be added to 50 liters of a 7% solution to produce a solution with a concentration of 8%? We're still going to do the same thing. I'm going to underline our question. What we need to find is the liters of a 10% solution. Nothing else. Now I'm going to take my other color and underline the rates. We have 7% here, 10% here, and 8% here. And we know that our amount is 50%. I'll show you now why it's different. So we're going to draw a small bowl still, plus a small bowl, and that equals the big bowl. Okay, now let's fill it in. We have 10% solution. It's in the small bowl. Another one that's in the small bowl is the 7%. And big bowl is going to be 8%. Excuse. Okay, and then we have 50 liters of the 7%. And that's all we know. So we're going to add x here. And then x plus 50 is equal to this. Now we're going to solve it. We're going to set it up, and it's going to be 0.10 times x plus 0.07 times 50 equals 0.08 times x plus 50. Simplifying these so they're no longer decimals, it's 10 times x plus 7 times 50 is equal to 8 times x plus 50. That's going to be 10x plus 7 times 50 is 350. Is equal to 8x plus 400. Now let's simplify. 10 minus 8 is 2. Oh wait, there's supposed to be an x there. 2x plus 350 is equal to 400 minus 350 on both sides. 2x is equal to 50. And now we're going to divide both sides by 2. And then x is equal to 25. Now let's see if we answered our question. We need to discover, or not discover, but find out our 10% amount, the amount of the 10% solution. And I believe that's what we did because x and x are the same thing. So we need 25 liters of the 10% solution. That is our answer.